Now to get some further analysis, we are joined live by Jaesung Hong, an attorney and expert on finance and trade law at JS Legal in Seoul. Welcome to our program. Now, we know that this trade tension is quickly spiraling up. How has the crisis affected the economies of Japan and South Korea? Shane just mentioned that it's going to result in a possible shrinking of investment and employment. Now, how will this trade row likely to play out?
For Korean tech giant companies like Samsung and SK, they seem to be busy setting up contingency plans for Japan's trade restrictions of key tech materials. But in terms of economic influence, on the contrary, they don't seem to suffer yet with their products like semiconductors showing a price rise and stock price rise. But it's true that the overall uncertainty of the Korean economy is on the scale of increase because of the trade dispute. So to overcome a possible bad effect, Korean government and companies are trying to solve this row in many ways, like pursuing diplomatic settlement through direct negotiation with Japan or multilateral talks with mediation provided by the US, or through seeking consensus in WTO. Companies are also finding ways to minimize the bad effect by getting supplies from countries other than Japan or domestic companies. On the other hand, Japan seems to suffer more than Korea and than the level that it expected to suffer. Korean citizens are boycotting Japanese products and even refraining from traveling to Japan. As a result, Japanese firms are undergoing drastic sales cuts in Korea, and Japan's local economy, which heavily depends on Korean tourists, is starting to show recession.
And now, Mr. Hong, let me also ask you this. South Korea has been asking the U.S. to put pressure on Japan, but it seems that the U.S. has played a limited role. At least the result has been limited so far. Do you think the two neighbors can resolve this trade dispute on their own, or there has to be an involvement of a third party, for example, the U.S. or WTO?
Of course, Korean government will keep trying to solve the issue in an amicable method, including direct talks with Japan and with U.S. mediation. But Korea prepares ways like filing a complaint to WTO's DSB, or diversifying suppliers from other countries, or fostering domestic suppliers. As to Japan, even though its intention is to cut Korean economy precisely like Surgeon's operation, that doesn't seem to work that way, because the current economic environment is like global economy so densely and widely interconnected that Japan's actions will definitely hurt global supply chain, thus harming many countries. Indeed, we can witness that there are criticisms from some U.S. politics and think tanks for Japan's recent trade restrictions. Furthermore, Japan's measures lack grounds in terms of justification, even though they are putting many reasons to justify their actions. None of them seems to appeal to common sense, rationality, or proportionality. And that aspect explains many things that we can watch in anti-Japan sentiments among Korean citizens, which seems not entirely from nationalistic sentiments. So in my opinion, Japan's measures might not last long, considering all those circumstances.
Well, Mr. Jaesung Hong speaking to us live from Seoul, thank you so much for your insight.